What's your story behind a PB&J?
I want a sandwich. I make a sandwich. I eat the sandwich.
You think I care about that? Look, I can do whatever I want, all right? If I want to shoot a paintball gun at my dad, I'm gonna do it.
Good shot, son. I'm proud of you.
Will you marry me?
What?
Okay, really, could you stay in the cab? I'm sorry, I'll be right there, I promise. Or maybe I won't. What's your answer?
It's the Al Travis Show. We're lucky to have Amy Koch on, Senator Koch. With Momentum Advocacy, I deserve the beat down that you're going to give me, and I'm going to take it. You guys do strategic communications and public affairs, that sort of thing. How bad did I fumble the Senator John Hoffman interview? Go ahead, rip me. I know I'm bad.
So what I loved about the interview is that it was really you two buddies who have been talking for years having your conversation. It was a delight. It was good to hear him, all that. So interview, I'm giving you a 9 out of 10.
That can't be true, because any other interview person would have asked the hard question, if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? Oh, no. Okay.
No.
So,
the interview was excellent. Your promotion of it was very sad because you had an exclusive with a man that everyone has been talking about on a national level. This is national level news. We've been waiting to hear from this senator, to see how he's doing, to hear from him. We've had a couple of pictures, him and the president. I'm sorry, the president got him before you. And then Al Travis got him. And you barely talked about that he was coming on. Yeah,
that was okay. I'm not a smart man. I need to hire you.
To that show, everyone like in the bubble was paying attention and wanting to report on it. Reporters reporting on it. You could have
I did wrong. I need to see, but I don't look at it that way. I was just so happy my buddy was going to be back on, and I was concerned to death. And quite frankly, and I don't mean this in a bad way, we only texted, so I didn't know if when he'd respond on a text, it took him 25 minutes to formulate the sentence. I didn't know. So when we're going into the radio, I was just scared we could do 18 minutes, which is the talk time. And then when he got on the phone, literally he started ripping on me. The second he got on, I'm like, thank God, this is fantastic. And I had so much fun. As far as interview goes, I don't know. I do 30 a week, 52 weeks, and do the math for 5 years. I don't know how many interviews I've done. That one will always go down in my head as one of my favorites because I didn't have to talk politics with him. We were just going to have fun. I loved it. And then my wife, friends start sending me screenshots of me on TV with the CBS or whatever. And my wife, she goes, you're kind of a big deal. Did you know that? I'm like, why would there was not one good question asked there as far as news gathering goes, but John was healthy.
You could have 16 minutes of you guys, which was what was beautiful and authentic about it, and a couple minutes where people got a soundbite. That's all. I will help you and John next time.
Please.
Next time you just call me, no charge.
Thank you. See, that's why I know people. I got to know you after. I got to have you at the front end of that because I never even thought about it. I never thought about how, and no one else had talked to John yet. It was just my buddy was back, and I was thrilled. Just like when you come out on your days.
Well, we are thrilled that he's back too. Great job on the interview. Bad job on the promotion.
And that's perfectly fair.
A 2 out of 10 because you did get some media, but that's only because it was a huge deal.
It was an accidental thing. Thank you. That's plenty fair. But in the world, that's what you guys do, right? Momentum advocacy. You would take knuckleheads like me and make it that next level, right? That's what you do for people, right? Am I oversimplifying it?
We also work at the Capitol and on the federal level and lobby and all of that. But yes, in part we do strategic comms, which would have been just a little bit of like, hey, why don't you ask this question? And then let's talk to this reporter and let's do a follow-up interview, Al Travis, and talk about the show.
See, there's so much more to this. Momentum Advocacy. Find them online, momentum-advocacy.com. I thank you for being here. Lots gone on. Besides John. So I was hoping to death that when Senator Mitchell said, wait till you hear what really happened, you'll change your mind, right? She held out for 15 months that once you hear my side, and I wanted it. She's got 2 kids. She's held the state hostage for the last 15 months. As soon as both lawyers got up for their opening statements and her side said it was a welfare check, I was out. That doesn't make any sense. And then you listen to the whole thing. Nothing made sense that they threw out there. She's found guilty on both charges. Just your quick over. Would you have told her that's the way to go for 15 months? Horrible.
No. She should have been out immediately. First of all, she lied to the cops and she said that she was there to collect her dad's things. And she lied and that came out in court. Then she had this BS statement about a welfare check that no one was going to bother to buy. And by the way, she was trying to pre-sell it because some of her colleagues had heard about this welfare check about her her stepmother's Alzheimer's. Okay, and also, by the way, as a daughter of a man who has been suffering with Alzheimer's for 8 years now, and seeing the decline, because it is a slow loss of a loved one. They become. I mean, my dad is in there, but barely now, right?
Yep.
To use that and to call into question, and I thought. And now her stepmother is 2 years, almost 2 years later,
down
right?
that road.
So she was less coherent. And that lawyer put her on the stand and dragged her through things, knowing this was garbage. You dressed in black. You had a stealing sack. You had a flashlight with a sock over it. You crawled in through an egress window to pretend that it was concern and to use that woman's disease. Like, that was the most disgusting. But yeah. No surprises here. We had the police report. We had the 911 call from Carol where she said, a man is crawling along my bed. She was terrified. She was the victim. She should have been ejected. It's going to be a problem for the Senate DFL, particularly in that special election, because they kept her for political reasons, Al. I don't like, I get all the politics. Maybe Republicans would have done the same, but she was the 34th vote on all of their agenda, and that's why she stayed.
Let's go with the Alzheimer thing and Carol first.
Yeah.
When they put her on the stand and they kept asking about kids' birthdays and this and that, she couldn't quite remember. I don't have Alzheimer's, knock wood, never have. I don't remember my kids' birthdays. There's a reason you got the Google Calendar, okay? It was unfair. It made her look horrible. And you're thinking, well, maybe 2 years ago, Grandma would have had it. I think they lost it literally when they put her on the stand. You're going to go after her. I think they screwed that up big time. That all being said.
I hope so, Al. I hope they should, because that was disgusting.
Going into the break, the last 2 minutes I want to give to you because I've already talked about it. I am quite upset that we are going to let her decide when she retires because she's got to wrap up a few loose ends, get a little something, insurance for her kid, and I'd like one more check. How? What in felony 2 times? Can we not do an hour-long break, get you all together, vote her out, and say we're done? I don't like it. I don't want to hurt her kids anymore, but she had 15 months to plan for today.
Yeah, but also the Senate had a session and a half to expel her, and they didn't. So how are we going to charge the taxpayers for a special session to expel her when they should have done it for a month? So that's where I'm at. I'm like, you had a session and a half to get rid of her. You had multiple votes that were brought up to get rid of her. You should have done the wrong thing. Now what? Now, she technically could stay till February.
That's what I was saying. Why would she not? Yeah. What if her lawyer comes out and said, no, we didn't quite get it done this month. We're going to work on it. They could drag this on, be the front page of the paper, and she'll just keep drawing her check. Can I ask you this? Would you know that? You would know this. You were a senator. Do you get paid monthly? Is it twice a month? What is this? How often does a senator get paid?
Let me think. I think you get paid bi-weekly. I want to say, I can't remember. I don't remember. It's either.
Okay.
It's a good question. I don't remember. I feel like it was bi-weekly, but or maybe monthly, but I think the military got paid monthly. So that's what I'm thinking about.
Military is monthly,
Air Force. I was Air Force, that was monthly. I think the Senate's bi-weekly.
Yeah. Okay. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just upset, but like you say, you've got to bring everybody's session. That's going to cost more money than just paying her for 2 weeks. But on the other hand, there's nothing. She's not locked into that. She can come out and say, my lawyer, we discussed it some more. We're going to wait till February. What are you going to do? The governor already came out and said there will not be a special session because there's too much going on, which is what we're going to talk about on the other side. I've got Senator Amy Koch on the Al Travis Show.
Tired of one-sided media and divisive noise drowning out your conservative values? Take back the conversation with Braver Angels. Join a grassroots movement to restore civility and find common ground without compromising your principles. As a conservative, your voice matters. Share your perspective on issues like immigration and public health in Red Blue workshops and help rebuild trust in our great nation. Be a leader in depolarizing America. Sign up for free at mn.braverangels.org. Braver Angels, where conservatives, liberals, and independents unite for a stronger republic.
There are many ways to explore Alexandria. Some like to experience the outdoors and all the fun winter in Minnesota can provide. Pick your favorite way to get in touch with nature. Others like to explore downtown in the warm comfort of a boutique or gathered around a table with friends. You can do all of that or relax and do nothing at all. Come explore Alexandria. Start planning at explorealex.com.
You were saying something?
Oh, this long form is kind of fun.
Well, yeah.
We have a good time. Who comes on for an hour? Who am I filling in for?
Senator Kent. I need a Democrat who spoke well, and she was fantastic. So I gave her an hour. And so, yeah, the long form is what a guy needs. Here we come.
You don't need to ask him his opinion more than once. Al Travis on the Al Travis Show.
We've got our Senator Amy Koch. She's with Momentum Advocacy with it. She created it. She's with us. Here's the issue. So we obviously have this seat to be filled, the Mitchell seat. But if now Senator Anderson passed, we talk about getting swept under the rug, which is too bad because I really like Bruce Anderson a ton. Had him on a couple times. Bit of an introvert, I guess, for a guy who's in that line of work, but really a nice cat. This has been strange, right? So we have those two we have to finish. We had the Eichhorn seat that's already been done. Dietzick, you almost forget. I mean, sorry to say that, but it's been it's not even a year, and she went. And then there was that knucklehead that won but didn't win because he didn't live in the election. We've had 3 already. We got 3 more lined up. If you say that Fatah will win the mayor's seat in Minneapolis, there's another one. And all these people that want to run for these seats, if they win, you got another one. I don't call it Taco Tuesday anymore. It's going to be Vote Tuesday and get a free taco. That every Tuesday is going to have an election. Am I wrong? How do we get this all in by session?
So it's going to be tough, and also why there will not be a special session, right? Yeah. In addition to, I think they can't come to an agreement. So first of all, I want to touch a little bit on Bruce because Bruce was my mentor, and he is my successor. And so I do feel like he was a quiet public servant. He was not bombastic. He was not in it for obviously the media. I'm surprised he came out twice. You probably broke that news too, right? He just didn't do it, Al, right? Like
it wasn't his game. I think he found out I could be pleasant. I wasn't going to rip on him. We were just going to have conversation. He was a brilliant guy. I really liked him, but he didn't like the game of gotcha politics, and he was good. No.
Never, ever, ever. And so Bruce was the reason I got elected the first time. Bruce was the reason everybody thinks, Wright County, where I come from, is the most conservative district in the state, right? Everybody knows it's right for a reason. But it wasn't that. It wasn't that until Bruce. Until 1994, we were fully represented by Democrats. We had Betty Atkins as the senator, Bob McCarran as the state rep, Jerry Sikorsky was our congressman. And it was the hard work of Bruce and others that turned that district around and made it the Republican stronghold it is today. And he doesn't get credit for that. Yeah. Again, he's the reason I got elected. He and I and Tom Emmer served together, right? And Tom and Bruce was the senior member there. And then weirdly, in a weird twist, my mentor became my successor, and he took, kept my seat in the Senate. He's a champion of He's a champion of veterans. We had that in common. I'm an Air Force vet. And he just did that quietly and behind the scenes. And so, yes, special election in Wright County, that will be a Republican. It'll be a big fight, right? There's going to be a lot of, I think, several Republicans jumping in. You could get some House members that are currently serving, Joe McDonald or Marion Rarick. They might jump in the race. If they win, well, now we got another special. The specials are unprecedented. When I ran in a special, 2005. There were 3 specials at that time, one in Plymouth, one in St. Cloud, and then the one in Wright County. That seemed like an overwhelming number of specials. It was a couple people that Mayor Kleiss in St. Cloud, became the mayor. A couple of people went to the Plenty administration. Orada stepped in. And that seemed bizarre. We are now, like you said, we will have a minimum of 6 this year. And probably more, because there are the 2 House members in the Woodbury seat, the Mitchell seat, have announced they're running. Well, for sure, Emerson Yeager has, and everyone's Cha is going to run as well. So yes, this could very likely win, and we got another one. And it's just it is indicative of. Like, this has been, I always said 2010 to 2012 was unbeatable in tumult and craziness. And this has surpassed it 100 times.
Yeah.
It's just like the sadness and the loss and the shenanigans and sex trafficking and felony burglary and
so that's not living in a district. Let me ask you this. There's no real loss for, other than the people, no losing for the Republicans, right? They're 67-67, 34-33. Most of these seats will stay in the same category, blue or red, right? And I don't think there's any real toss-ups. But that's where the Republicans say, we hold our own. Could we flip one of these? And I doubt Fatah's seat, but could Woodbury flip? This has only got upsides for the Republicans, but only if they get their poop in a scoop?
Poop in a group? That is true. So, right. Most of the seats will fall as they are. Melissa Hartman's seat will go to a Democrat. The Republicans will keep the Wright County. The question mark is Woodbury. And Woodbury, I would tell you, is going to lean blue. I'm not here to BS anybody. It's going to lean blue. However, it is a special, which means low turnout, which means a very specific voter. And if you had a good candidate that matched that district, and by the way, it has to be a moderate, like it just has to be. It's Woodbury, folks. You want a Republican there? You're not going to get Steve Drazkowski. You're not going to get an Amy Koch. I can't represent Woodbury. But you could get the right candidate, and I do believe that Mitchell will be on the ballot, right? Because that was such a massive story, because everyone's going to be talking about it. It is actually a special that's going to get attention, and if you had the right messaging and the right candidate, Republicans got a shot. It's a longer shot, but they have a shot, and that would mean a flip of the Senate. That's really the only possible that I see on the table at this point.
Then throw at me now on a bigger level. The governor hasn't got in yet. Now they're saying probably wait until after the state fair. Doesn't seem like a lot of Republicans are willing to jump in. Jensen came back. Don't know. We've been there, done that. Now you got Qualls. Okay. How come the Republican bench didn't dive in? We were waiting till after the session, and I'm sorry, it just doesn't seem like Republicans want the fight.
Well, a couple things. One, you could have an empty seat too. The governor has not announced that he's in yet. And I'm hearing a little more and more. I'm just going to say it on this show because you break all the news. That the governor might be maybe less and less inclined to run again. Third term is tough. We've never had a governor win a third term. Even very popular governors like Rudy Perpich, and Tim Pawlenty. They tried, they didn't get it. So there is that. So you could have an empty seat, or you could be running against walls, where we just had a report yesterday that we are looking at the official tab for the fraud, waste, and abuse under this administration at running well over $1 billion. Boy, I tell you, if I'm a Republican, I want to run on that. So, and so I think there's still time for some front benchers to get off the bench, like a Lisa Damuth, like a Zach Duckworth from Lakeville. Like, I'd like to see some names.
You think he would change his mind? Didn't Zach come out and say, I'm not running? He Coleman came out and said no.
He did, but there's a lot of factors. The only problem is they need to get in soon. because Walz has a fundraising advantage, or if it isn't Walz, the Democrats will always have a fundraising advantage. And for the Democrats, they have to start teeing up someone as well if Walz is not going to run, because, an empty seat would bring people off the bench too on both sides. So It's interesting.
So you think there might be stuff to talk about between now and the election?
I guarantee it. I can't believe it's not even August yet, Al. It's not even August.
It is going to be so much fun. Amy, I appreciate you coming on. Senator Koch, Momentum Advocacy. If you're going to run, go check their group out. You'd help them run, right? I mean, that's what you do.
Well, I'll help you with your radio shows and your organizations.
I love that. Senator Amy Koch on the Al Travis Show.